Greg, we were talking about Bulgaria earlier, and how forward we're looking to going back and taking the cameras, more cameras, better camera operators next time.
I think we did a pretty fine job, if I do say so, in a very humble sort of way. No, actually, you know, this was a preliminary trip for us because we weren't sure exactly what direction we might be involved. So it was a very basic trip for us this time.
Well, we were only gone, what, 9 days or so, and I hated to leave. And there was points when I got back to the room, I actually felt bad because I was having such a good time. And I thought, this is work. This is the mission field. I should be having fun. But it was fun.
Well, you were where you were supposed to be.
Exactly. And it's evident of that. And I think our viewers will agree with us once they see our B-roll.
That's right. And the thing is, this is just a piece of what all we did shoot over there, and we'll be presenting more in a more formal special in the near future.
Exactly. Well, is it ready? All right, it's finally ready, so here it is. Camp here, and you see that 4-story building on the left. On the top floor is where we had the church services, and on the bottom she has schoolrooms and that kind of thing. And here's the kids coming off the bus. We had 4 buses come in that day, Greg.
That's right.
And about 120 kids total that day.
And they come from different villages throughout the area, and so there are 4 weeks of children coming from different villages, and then there's a special needs week where children who are handicapped. And
I hated we missed that. That would have been so special.
And so they don't have as many children at that time, so they can have more one-on-one care.
They said during the special needs weeks that they'll have 1 counselor per child.
Right. So that way any need can be met if they have a physical situation.
Right. And they have breakfast and lunch, and here they are. They're praying here, about to eat their breakfast, and these are some of the Roma children here. And forgive me, I can't remember what that breakfast was called. It started with a B, but it was delicious. Of course, I think you ate, what'd you eat, water? So there they are.
Look at the children.
And some of these kids are just, inches around, and you can see it poking out their sides after they finish.
Well, this is a big treat for them because they don't have anything like this to look forward to. And many of these children some of the older ones have been at the camp for several years now.
And what that kid was just eating was like a chocolate donut. It tastes just like Krispy Kreme.
It was good. There's the top floor that you were talking about where the children, they have a time where they put all the children together and they have some music and they share stories.
There they are. And that's some more of the Roma children there. And singing. And then a lot of the songs, like the ones you heard there before, is Bind Us Together, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's always fun when you can recognize a tune. You may not know the words they're singing, but you know what the song is.
Yeah, or like at church, you'll hear blah, 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 Greg and Dante, blah, 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 when they introduced us to church. But that's Sutcho's wife there, and Sutcho's their one of their IT guys and one of their camera and audio guys. and they do such a good job, him and Stoyan. And Supcho had 2 little girls, one about 10 and the other one I think 5, and she was adorable. Now, you'll have to remind me of her name.
That's Valeria.
Valeria. And she was a school teacher for over 30 years and has retired to travel around with Betty and teach these awareness programs. And she does a really good job at it. As you can see, every child is intrigued. And that program or lesson or whatever you want to call it, it went about 45 minutes, you know.
It was very in-depth, and even though we didn't understand it because it was being presented in the Bulgarian language, you could tell by her inflection and the way she was talking, you could understand that she was saying stop, no. You know, she was really very expressive and holding the children's attention so with it. And of course, with 30 years of school background, she's a wonderful person to be in that role.
Wonderful. There's Supcho's wife again, and this is the younger group here. Ages from about 4 to about 6 or 7, and they are talking about the Garden of Eden. I knew that because of the serpent and the apple. You didn't know I knew Bulgarian, did you?
No, I didn't. So they're very hands-on with the children. They really build relationships with these children for the week that they're there, but then when they stay in contact with them in the villages after that, so it's not just a week.
And with these other churches throughout the villages, they have a place to go. You know, this is kind of their main headquarters, the camp is, but in these villages they're from, they have churches with different pastors to get to know these children.
That's right.
That's right. They are leaving that 4-story building. Looking happy.
And you know, kids are just kids, aren't they? And they bring out the kid in me. You know, it's like it was a great week just to be a part of all this.
And here we are. We decided to ride with the children on our bus into the village.
You're going to one of the nearby villages where the children came from.
Yeah.
And this is actually one of the closer villages to the camp.
Yeah, they come from all of, I think if further this would be about 50 or 60 kilometers.
It's a good distance.
And there we are. You can see the breeze. We're 2 miles from the Black Sea. It was gorgeous, about 85, 80 degrees every day. And that's one reason I did not want to come home.
And this is a typical village in Bulgaria.
No shoes. We went to some houses without power, without running water. And they love the camera.
Yes. And like I said, Betty and Tim have been working in Bulgaria for over 2 decades. So they have built such a relationship with the people and found favor in the country. I mean,
everybody we were around knew Betty.
Yes.
They say Betty.
and so this is that same village, and the kids. Most of them were camp kids. I think a couple of them maybe just came from the neighborhood, but most of them had been to the camp and been a part of the camp all day.
Now, I believe this next shot, let's see, nope, it's coming up. It'll tear you up.
This is the village also where the young girl lives that you mentioned earlier.
About the kid. Now, this little girl, this is it. She was abandoned at 6 months old. The family just put her out on the side of the road and just left her there, just like a stray dog or something. And this family took her in, and I really don't know if they officially adopted her or just have been cared for, but she's the sweetest little girl, not a thing wrong with her, and it just breaks your heart.
I think it made you homesick for your own daughter.
It made me want to take her home with me. Yeah. But she had a good family now.
Yeah, she was.
She really had a good family. And here's the baptism. How many children was baptized, do you think?
I'm not sure how many on this time. It was 18 or 20 maybe from this week. But now there were, each week they have, at the end of the camp, they have a baptism. And then it's followed by a communion service.
That's right.
So and that was really sweet to see.
And we partaked in communion on Sunday morning when we were at church.
We did, and there's Betty with one of the young girls who just got baptized. And it's, it was these are the other lady along with Valeria is one of the teachers there, and there's the communion.
There's the communion. And what amazed me is when we did communion, they take care of everything. Those little communion cups, they reuse. They didn't throw it away. And you'll see them here. These are just little 3-ounce Dixie cups or something. And you'll see them stack them up and reuse them later. Nothing goes to waste there. But the Spirit of God is so powerful over there.
It is.
These people are so hungry for Christ. And I shared that on the Skype. You can just feel His presence everywhere you went.
It's very real. And each week they end their camp with the baptism and then followed by the communion, and then there's one more session upstairs before the buses leave.
Now this is a city outside of Dobrich, and you'll see here in just a second, that white right there is the empty building that they just signed the paperwork on today, that to get that building for, you know, the Roma village, for $222 a month. And they'll pack that place out with probably 50 or 100 kids every Wednesday or every Thursday or whatever, and have these awareness groups, and then have church there on Sunday. And it had a full facility, it had a restroom, had a little kitchenette, and for $222 a month.
And they're going to use this to really build the relationship with the youth.
That's the store owner there, yeah.
And they're going to really focus a lot on the youth so they can really start working with the awareness program and really start building relationships with the young people to give them hope and share Christ with them.
And there's their teacher, and then the other girl is our interpreter, Vanya.
That's right. It's bringing back a lot of memories watching all these clips now.
And here we are in the Roma village at one of the houses, and it was really nice.
This is one of the youth rallies that they have in the communities.
Yeah.
Again, it's a relationship building time with the young people.
And this is just down the street from that storefront you saw, and now they'll actually have a place to congregate and to go besides somebody's yard.
That's right. And they're just precious children, and I know keep the young lady, the young girl with the medical problem, keep her in your prayers as well, because she is going through a lot of physical challenges.
And I'll know more about her tomorrow and update the people and that kind of thing. Well, we had a good trip, and we look forward to going back.
And exciting things are to come.
That's right.